Title: The Haunting of Ravensbrook. It was a cold, misty evening in the small town of Ravensbrook. Nestled deep within a dense forest, the town seemed like it had been forgotten by time itself. Tall, ancient trees surrounded the town, their branches intertwined, casting eerie shadows on the narrow streets. The townsfolk lived quiet, uneventful lives, and the only excitement they ever had was the occasional summer fair or autumn harvest festival. Ravensbrook had its fair share of secrets, and none was as mysterious as the old, abandoned mansion that sat on the outskirts of town. The mansion, known as Blackwood Manor, was a massive, decaying structure with a dark history. It had been built in the 19th century by the reclusive Blackwood family, who had a reputation for being involved in occult practices. Legends spoke of strange rituals performed in the mansion's depths and eerie occurrences that plagued anyone who dared to enter. On a chilly October night, a group of adventurous teenagers from Ravensbrook High School gathered around a bonfire, sharing ghost stories and daring each other to explore the haunted Blackwood Manor. Among them were Jack, the fearless leader, Sarah, the brainy skeptic, Mike, the jock, Lisa, the artist, and Ethan, the quiet observer. As the fire crackled and the wind rustled the trees, Jack proposed their daring adventure. "Come on, guys," he said with a sly grin. "We've all heard the stories about Blackwood Manor. It's time to find out if they're true." Sarah rolled her eyes. "Seriously, Jack? It's just an old house with a creepy history. There's probably nothing there." Mike flexed his muscles. "I'm up for it. I'll protect you all." Lisa, always seeking inspiration for her artwork, chimed in. "It could be an interesting subject for my next painting." Ethan, who rarely spoke but had a curiosity that rivaled the rest of them, simply nodded. With their flashlights and courage in tow, the group set off toward Blackwood Manor. The journey was a treacherous one, as they had to navigate through the thick woods, their path illuminated only by the beams of their flashlights. The closer they got, the more the atmosphere changed. The air grew colder, and the forest seemed to close in on them. Finally, they arrived at the mansion. Its towering facade was even more imposing in the dim light, and the eerie silence that surrounded it sent shivers down their spines. The front door creaked open with an ominous groan, as if inviting them in. The interior was a maze of dark, dusty rooms filled with decaying furniture and faded wallpaper peeling off the walls. As they explored further, strange sounds echoed through the mansion, whispers, footsteps, and distant cries that made their hearts race. "Okay, this is getting creepy," Sarah admitted, her skepticism wavering. Jack, determined to prove himself, urged the group to continue. "We can't turn back now. Let's just explore a little more." Lisa, always on the lookout for the perfect subject, found her way to the grand ballroom. It was a vast, dilapidated space with a crumbling chandelier hanging from the ceiling. As she raised her flashlight to take in the room's details, she gasped. Paintings adorned the walls, depicting bizarre, nightmarish scenes of rituals and sacrifice. The room seemed to come alive with an eerie energy that made her hands tremble. Ethan, who had been quietly observing, pointed to a hidden door in the corner. The door led to a dimly lit basement, where the air was thick with a foul, musty odor. Jack, always eager for adventure, insisted they go down and investigate. Descending the creaky staircase, they discovered a chamber filled with ancient tomes, candles, and strange artifacts. It was clear that the Blackwood family had indeed dabbled in the occult. As they examined the room, a sinister presence seemed to envelop them. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the basement, and they spun around to find that the door had slammed shut behind them, trapping them in the eerie darkness. in as they struggled to open it, but it wouldn't budge. "Okay, this isn't funny anymore," Sarah said, her voice trembling. The candles in the chamber flickered to life, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The group could hear faint whispers, and the temperature dropped significantly. Mike, the brave jock, tried to force the door open with all his might, but it was as if an invisible force held it shut. "We need to find another way out," he said, his voice strained. As they searched for an escape, they heard faint cries coming from deep within the mansion. The cries grew louder, and it became clear that they were not alone. Shadows moved in the corners of their vision, and chilling apparitions materialized before them. Panic turned to terror as the group realized they were trapped in a malevolent presence's grasp. Desperate to escape, they followed the cries, which led them to a hidden chamber beneath the mansion. In the chamber, they discovered a disturbing altar and a blood-stained book containing the Blackwood family's darkest secrets. With growing horror, they realized that the spirits of the Blackwood family had been awakened by their intrusion. The spirits sought to complete an unfinished ritual, one that required the blood of the living. Sarah, the skeptic, felt a cold hand grip her shoulder, and she turned to see a ghastly figure with hollow eyes. "We need to find a way to appease them," she whispered. Using the clues from the ritual book, they attempted to perform a counter-ritual to pacify the vengeful spirits. The basement chamber seemed to come alive with supernatural energy as they chanted incantations and made offerings. Suddenly, the cries and apparitions ceased, and the temperature returned to normal. The door that had trapped them swung open, and they hurriedly fled the mansion, leaving the secrets of Blackwood Manor behind. As they emerged into the cold night, the group vowed never to speak of their horrifying encounter again. They had escaped the clutches of the vengeful spirits, but the memory of that night would haunt them forever. Ravensbrook continued to exist in its quiet, uneventful state, but the legend of Blackwood Manor persisted, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lay hidden in the heart of the forest. And so, the small town of Ravensbrook kept its secrets, and the cursed mansion remained a place where the living dared not tread, for the spirits of the Blackwood family still roamed its halls, waiting for the next group of curious souls to wander into their domain.